Welcome to the Heart of the Sea Prologue 4. Today's island is one that only few know about. You're either rich enough to attend, in the know, or you simply reside on the island. Velmoria is both prestigious and elite. One of the world's foremost schools for wizardry. Students attend monthly blood drives to help with donations. An invisibility barrier keeps those out and away from the island. But as we get closer, the island is much more than just a school. It's a family. If you are attending classes here, you are a part of it. But as we come closer, we see a young man lollygagging in class. A man known as Kizmet Alorin.
I am a human. I look around. I'm sitting in the front row of class as I always do. We're trying to catch up from repeated failures time and time again in attempts to graduate. When to all of my studies, all of my calculations and formulas prove that I should have passed without issue. I'm just kind of sitting in the front of the class, and looking at the professor, just awaiting the next instruction, just waiting on what to be tested on next. As I look over outside of the windows, the large windows to the left, I see my familiar, my Raven Zeno tapping on the glass, letting me know that the professor is about to start speaking and I should start paying attention.
Mr. Alorin, can you tell the class how you cast a firebolt?
Oh, yes. Well, you have to draw on the essence of heat. Now, where does the heat come from? That you draw on the essence of fire in the elemental plane. You hold your hand like this, as Kizmet holds his hand out in front of him with his fingers pointing towards the ceiling, and starts to almost grasp in air as he starts to conjure a little bit of ember with a focus on that arcane fire in his hand, and just harness the elements as we've been taught. And I look down at my notes next to me to make sure I'm taking the right precautions, and I start to conjure a little firebolt in my hand to showcase the steps appropriately.
I see you are grasping the essence of the firebolt, but you've yet to actually cast one. Lilina, can you show Mr. Alorin how it's done? Right away, sir. As the woman in the back of class, she's no more than 16, stands up, puts her hand out, kind of just waves slightly as a firebolt dashes and bolts at the little globe next to the professor. Poof! You see, Mr. Alorin, you may know how to cast the firebolt, but your body simply is not doing so. You're not letting the essence flow through you.
This makes no sense. Every formula I've written down, the way I held my hand, how I've tried to draw on the arcane, there's no reason in fighting it.
Mr. Alorin, After 4 times taking this class, you would think that one would simply grasp a cantrip as simple as Firebolt. We've yet to leave 101, and you are still here. This is miraculous in of itself. As he finishes kind of talking with you, a knock on the door as another professor kind of peeks their head in for a moment. Uh, Professor Legra, can I have a word with you? Yes. Class, continue practicing your firebolts. And then he kind of looks at you, Kizmet, especially you, Mr. Alorin, as he kind of walks out into the hallway for a moment. As the other students kind of start gossiping and talking amongst each other, doing normal kind of kid activities. They're without supervision from the professor. They are choosing not to do what he says. You, on the other hand, you overhear the conversations that they are having just outside the door. As you kind of lean in as not to be suspicious, you can hear the two professors begin to talk. Uh, Mr. Legra, it has come to my attention that you've been berating Mr. Alorin as per his father's request. Please refrain from doing so. You know he's allowed to take these classes indefinitely if he just just so wishes. This is preposterous. I'm here to teach, and he is simply not grasping the simplest of incantations. Why can he not see that? He's just not cut up for these spells, these rituals. I can't fathom why the that I can't fathom why Mr. Aloran would put his son through this. This is insane. And on another note, the um the blood drives that we've been hosting with the students monthly are barely becoming enough for uh well, you know, they're barely sustaining. Ah, very well. Have Professor Quinn send me his research on his proposed solution, if you will. But if you don't mind, I have to get back to my class. Uh, very well, Mr. Legra. I will see you after class then. As he kind of opens back up the door. Well, class, have you practiced your cantrips? Those of you that can cast Firebolt, as he kind of looks over at you, please do so now, as he points over to the globe that is in the center of the class. As the students around you stand up, they all send off their firebolts as they come crashing into the globe.
I look around. Is it my turn?
Everybody is finished casting other than you.
Okay. I stand up and I get my formula that I have and the steps included on to cast the firebolt. I close my eyes. Okay. Draw on the essence of arcane as the embers are hold in your hand like coals. Grasp them in tow and watch them light fire to your foe. And I go to cast the firebolt at the globe.
As you begin to cast the firebolt, you can feel the tips of your fingers grow hotter and hotter as a little sputtle kind of you end up casting a very light jolt of heated electricity, and as you do so, the tips of your fingertips begin to bleed, not from where the spell was cast, but just from the strain, almost as if your body is forcing this uh, reaction as the blood kind of
Ah!
pulls down on the pieces of paper in front of you.
I immediately as the blood starts going in the paper, I try and wipe it away, wipe it off, and try and get it off as much as possible, while simultaneously smudging all of my notes with blood and kind of looking around at the rest of the class to see how much of that everyone saw, and then I go to look at the professor.
The professor kind of looks at you and gives a very distasteful, like, not a frown, just like a disappointed look. All right, class. That's going to conclude it for today's lesson. You're free to go and roam the rest of the campus. Make sure to do your studies and to have the paper done by uh, the next 2 days. Thank you. And Mr. Alorin, continue your practice. As all the
Yes.
students get up around you, and the professor begins to like put some papers away. The
Um. Oh, good. No, that's it.
As some of the students begin to leave, one of them kind of comes up and like it's the it's Lilina, the she's the one that cast the firebolt as the example in the beginning of class. It's okay. I know I struggled um casting when I first started, but I know our situations are a bit different, but I think the struggle still um it still applies. You know what I mean? And then she kind of puts her hand out to like um not so much to like help you up from the chair, but to like lead you out of class.
Um. Can I insight check to see if she's like? Can I insight check to see if she's doing that because she thinks less of me, or if she's being genuine?
Yeah, go ahead. You mean insight check?
I got a 7.
Uh, you can't tell whether she's being genuine or if she is like doing this in a mockery kind of way. But her
Is
hands,
it
what?
in my history? In my history, would you say that more students were mockery, more in the pool of mockery than
Yes,
helping?
yeah. You due to your repeated classes and stuff. Um, I would say probably around 90% of the student populace that you know of. You've heard the whispers and stuff like that. You know that most of them do kind of make fun of you, and you're like the laughing stock whenever students get classes with you. Um, it's almost as if like a bet amongst students who will get to like show off that they can do it, um, and you can't.
Um, as she says that and reaches her hand out, I like kind of get my papers and kind of fold them and or like organize them on the table, and I just back my chair up, and I stand up myself, and I just say, "Thanks, Lilina, but I'm going to cast this. I all signs show that I should be able to, and I will, and I'll I'll do it myself. But
And I believe you, Kismet. Maybe it's the fatigue from our monthly blood drives. I know that takes a toll on everybody, and the late night studying doesn't help. So maybe those also factor in. I know it took me a while to cast my first spell when I got here. My nerves and everything. I can only imagine how you feel. Your father is on the board of directors, after all.
Um, I kind of, I knowing that, or with the information that I've not been a part of these blood drives, I'm going to choose to keep that as a secret from her, and I'm just going to kind of go along with what she's saying to kind of get out of the situation, not really seeing it, further me or her, because I'm not very trusting of the people in my class or people that are around me with
Mm-hmm.
the record of how they have in the past. And I'll just say, yeah, Lena, you're right. It probably was just some bad sleep. Um, every every day for the past 4 years. And I just get up and I just start to make my way past her.
As you make your way past her, she kind of holds her books close to her chest. Kismet, I wish you the best. And then from across the room, um, one of the students kind of balls up their like assignment on their desk, and they kind of throw it in front of you and cast firebolt, so it kind of like bursts in front of you. Lilina, leave him alone. You know he can't fucking cast anything. He's been in this class 4 times.
Which one said that?
He is the one in the front row. He's this guy.
Um, I'm gonna walk over to him, like a couple steps over. I'm just gonna say, do I remember his name?
His name is Zeph.
Zeph. I'm gonna go, Zeph. I'm gonna handle my shit. All right. Doesn't mean you take it out on other people in the class that try to help me out. Not that I need it, because when I do it, I'll do it myself. But if you have a problem, how about you say it to my fucking face?
Yeah, like I would do that. The second I'd do anything to you, I'd be expelled. Your fucking father's on the board. Get out of here.
I just kind of realize the conflict is a little bit just not worth it, more than that I don't want to fight it personally. And as I'm walking away, as I kind of get a little bit farther, I'm going to uncast or send Zeno, my familiar, back to my pocket dimension, so he's no longer outside. And then whenever I get to a place that I can that aren't surrounded by a bunch of people, I'm gonna summon him on my shoulder and talk with him as I walk.
While you're walking out of class, give me a perception check.
Boom, +1. Big. Oh my god.
um, I would say as you turn around to like cast Zeno back, you kind of see Lilina walk over to Zeph and just like punch him in the shoulder, and then she like walks away. You don't see anything much more into that other than
Are they
that.
are they like the mean guy and the quiet girl that are dating in every high school where the girl like secretly has a crush on me and the guy's a douchebag and like is that what can I get an insight check on if that's the vibe right here? Fuck!
You're gonna
Oh wait, hold on.
It's a 17. You insight check the DM. Yeah, you're reading the situation right. You're reading the
Okay,
situation
good.
right.
Okay, good.
Oh shit.
With my bad perception check, I don't notice he's wearing a Letterman jacket. Okay, I continue.
Yeah, you don't know he's on the Quidditch team.
That's awesome.
As you walk out, you eventually make it to the courtyard. And I should probably go there and not just bring you.
This place is awesome.
As you get here, right now you're in a moment of solace. There's some people are walking about, but for the most part, it's almost like a library where if you're in the courtyard, people know to be quiet and to be. It's almost like a place of study.
Okay. Um, I am going to go where I always go. Um, Essentially, there is a like I go over to the to like the back benches here.
Hmm.
And there's like a bench here that is like kind of like it's like the least upkept of them all. So like no one really like usually sits there. They always stand or like sit at like the more refurbished or the newer kind of tables and benches that are outside.
Yep.
Um, and I kind of sit there and I just have Zeno on my shoulder, and he doesn't really talk, but I talk to him often just to kind of have someone else to bounce my thoughts off of, and I just kind of sit there. Damn. I mean, there's no way. There's no way. I you've seen everything. You've seen all of the formulas I've written, every page, all of all the pages I'd torn out of flammable extracts. I don't think Dad thinks I still have that, by the way, but I, I have spent restless nights memorizing all of this shit. It it doesn't make any sense. And I just look at my I look at my hand where I struck myself with lightning. Um, and as I kind of like look down, Zeno kind of gets like his beak and like tries to like almost wipe the blood off. And he like kind of looks at it and like pokes at it, like almost like when a dog licks a wound, like knowing something's like happened. And I go, yeah, well, you probably saw that. Got a good opera house seat when you saw it too.
When Zeno goes to kind of touch your wound, give me a Arcana check.
I wait. Hold on. I get advantage on this sometimes. I don't think it actually applies. Okay, normal roll. Let's go.
As Zeno gets close, you can very clearly see a like latent, almost like a shimmer, like a sparkle, come from the little pool of blood that's on the tip of your fingers as one of the drops almost falls in reverse as you have your palm up to the air. The little blood bubble kind of floats up, sparks slightly as Zeno gets close to it, and then falls back down. If you weren't directly looking and like focusing on your wound, you wouldn't even have noticed it. As Zeno kind of continues, he kind of like gets close to the wound, kind of rubs on you, and after that, your hand goes back to just being normally bloody.
Um, in my research, could I, could I, what could I roll something to recall anything I've read on any phenomenon like this, or would I know of anything similar to
Yeah, yeah,
this?
yeah. Give me a history check.
History. Normal roll. Oh,
You
low roll.
due to your very very extended studies, especially because you feel as though that you need to make up in some aspect. You've really been hitting the books and looking into every possible avenue, and you recall the only thing that this seems similar to is the magic of a blood hunter. However, you know that blood hunters haven't been seen, one, on Valmoria ever, and in generally the world, um, they are few and far between. If any come out, it's one in uh, a few couple years. It's almost like a restricted form of magic. People look down upon it, and your mind begins to race as you can't seem to make what is what what just happened in your eyes kind of make sense, and that's really the only thing your mind keeps going back to.
As I kind of recall that information, I quickly try and like wipe it off. I try and like wipe it off on my clothes or like the inside of like my jacket pocket or under my robes or something,
Yep, yep.
um, and kind of wipe it off, if it does or not. But while I'm doing that action, I kind of think to myself, no, no, and I kind of say to Zeno and look at him almost like he's having a conversation with me. No, there, that doesn't make any sense. That, that, I know, Zeno. It must have been a missing coefficient, or maybe I held it for too long, or something like that. And there's no way this. There's no reason the outcome would be this. And I take my hand back. Is my does my hand still have that like kind of spectacle like
Um,
sparkly pool of blood on it?
you wiped off the blood, and when you bring your hand back out, you can see that um the blood is kind of there. It's kind of dried at this point, but the wound underneath has formed a scar that you would see after years of like healing, and you're kind of taken back by this. You would expect there to still be an open wound, yet there's just scar tissue.
Um, okay. Maybe. Yeah, Zeno, you're right. Maybe the library will have something on this. And I start making my way over to wherever I remember the library to start looking into this.
As you make your way to the library, you can't help but to hear some of the professors talking in one of the uh, different like alleyways that lead to like around the school. You know how like there's very narrow hallways that lead from place to place. As you begin to walk there, you can hear them talking. One of them being your professor from earlier, and another professor that you know as Professor Quinn. Uh,
Okay, I stop and listen.
yes, Mr. Quinn, I wanted to talk to you. Um, One of our colleagues came by earlier and said that you might have come up with a solution to our blood drive um, situation. Yes, I believe I have. The experiments are coming quite quite profitable. I think within the next few months or so, the donations can come down significantly if I can crack just the final bit of tweaking I need. But I do believe that there is something I'm missing. I I don't know what it is yet, but I I must cut our conversation short. I must make it back to my laboratory and continue with um my little project. Um yes, and if you do so happen to pass um President Alorin on the way, do give him my sincerest apologies for um talking to his son in a unprofessional manner. You do not need to worry, Mr. Legra, but I will pass on your words for you if I do see him. As the two professors kind of split their opposite directions.
Um, I'm Quinn is the one that said that there was a going to his laboratory,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Um, I am going to I'm gonna look at Zeno and I'm gonna whisper to him. Or no, I can talk to him. This whole time I talk to him telepathic. Well, sometimes I talk to him normally. Other times I talk to him telepathically. Um, Usually I'll talk to him verbally if I just feel like I need that kind of companion connection.
Right, right.
Um, in this moment, I talk to him telepathically and I say, Zeno, did you hear that? Yeah, I. What does he mean by that? Um, you check it out, I'll be right behind you. Just stay somewhere that you can hide, okay? They won't see you. Um, and Zeno kind of like nods as he does, and he goes to uh, fly closely up kind of like near the ceiling of these hallways, and just go like from lamppost to lamppost, almost in like a Harry Potter style like hallway. He goes from like lamppost to lamppost, keeping an eye on Quinn as I maintain probably like a 15-foot distance behind, using my bonus action to see and hear telepathically, see and hear through his eyes and ears. Whenever he is kind of goes forward a little bit, I use my bonus action to see through him and hear through him, and then I take a couple steps and I kind of do that while I'm following Quinn.
Yeah, that do, 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 do. That works. As you follow Mr. Quinn through the school, he eventually gets to um a classroom, and when he goes inside of it, you can see through Zeno as he kind of casts in front of a wall, and it begins to like shimmer, and then he walks through it. And when you make your way into the classroom, uh, Zeno kind of relays to you. Um, he kind of like looks at you, and he's like flying above the wall, and you know what wall you saw through his visions.
Okay. I, I telepathically say to Zeno, "Good shit, Zeno. All right. I don't know where we're going, so hey, get in my pocket. I know you don't like it in there, okay? Just trust me, all right? We need to hear your wings flapping and wherever we're going. I know you'll be out soon." And I snap, and then he goes back to my pocket dimension, um, and I slowly start making my way as I'm in the classroom to walk over any of the creaks in the floorboard of this old arcane college, and I go over to the door, um, and I go to like put my hand where I felt or I saw the shimmer of the wall.
As you reach out, your hand kind of like putting your hand in a still glass of water. It kind of phases through and then ripples out as you pierce the veil.
Okay. Um, Without trying to be too seen from what's on the other side, I just put my face through to see what's on the other side.
As you peer through, you see a very dirty lab. It's got blood everywhere, like dried blood on the floor. There's these different vats that, um, excuse the coloration on the map. They're more of like a reddish hue, um, as they almost look like vats of blood.
What the fuck? I immediately kind of dart over. I immediately kind of dart over to the left to kind of like hide and like put my back against the wall, trying to steer clear of the kind of most illuminated parts of this room. Um, what the fuck? I mean, this 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 isn't too crazy, right? I mean, they probably don't want people to find the blood for the blood drive. And I mean, it's blood of those that are the most talented, right? You can't just let that be sitting or laying around for anyone up for grabs.
As you
Yeah.
are hiding here, you can see Professor Quinn kind of up at the main vat in the middle, and he's kind of like rubbing up on the glass a little bit, and he's kind of talking to himself. Yes, yes,
Um,
you're almost ready, my dear. Soon we'll have less blood and more power because of you. You are the
Um,
key to our success.
what the fuck? I say to myself as I move towards to go behind this big kind of like vat or like this like steam like tank or whatever.
Yep, yep.
And I just mutter to myself, I am really glad that Zeno's not here to see this. He would have so many questions I don't have the answer to. And I just kind of go behind this vat or this tank, just kind of stay there for a few moments and see and try and observe what is in the tank and see kind of what Quinn is doing at this point.
As you um look, give me a perception check and for what's in the tank. As for that, um, you can clearly see Quinn. He's kind of like writing down notes. He's like going over like back and forth between the vat and like this little desk, and he's kind of like going up there, writing some notes, going back down. He's kind of like muttering to himself about calculations and risk and reward and how they won't need to be in hiding for any longer.
Nat 20 on perception.
Uh,
That one's for
as
Zeno.
you as you look, you can clearly see a mangled amalgamation of what used to be a person. Whether it doesn't look like this is any student or professor, as because when you scan the room, you can kind of see various stages of what looks to be cell amalgamations in the different like stages of evolution through the vats that are in the room, and the one in the middle looks to be the furthest along in its development, as it's kind of as all the other ones are kind of free floating in their like vats, test tubes of blood. This one in the center seems to be um, getting pumped with uh, not only the blood that's in its vessel, but the other vats as well kind of funnel into this one as it is like twitching and moving inside of this giant vat.
Okay. All right. Is it and is it loud in here at all, or is it like what is
It is
like is it like
surprisingly
pumping?
it is like surprisingly quiet other than like the sound of general um almost it's like very like hospital noisy, where it's just the occasional like beep, the occasional bubble, the like sound of like maybe the suction from the other vats. So um anything
And
louder than
Quinn is working on his desk,
yeah,
right?
yeah, he's working
Like
on
he's
his
like
desk.
writing some stuff
Yep,
down or whatever.
yep.
Okay. I am while I'm behind here. You can I can roll a stealth check or whatever you need for that. I'm going to uncap. I'm gonna take Zeno out right next to me. I'm still like crouching, almost like borderline like getting as low as possibly can. Like I'm not like after I'm seeing and hearing that. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to cast. I'm gonna bring out Zeno right next to me. With the intent of telling him that like kind of like just talking with him telepathically. What do you need a stealth or sleight of hand or anything for
Um,
me doing that?
is the spell that you used to
It
cast
is
Xeno,
it it is verbal,
it is verbal, and it is
and
a spell, correct?
it is, hold on, as a magic action. It is not a spell to have him reappear. It is the magic action. So I don't. That's new with whatever this is. Hold on, let's see magic. Um, when you take the magic action, you cast a spell that has a casting time. Okay, yeah, so it technically is a spell at that point.
I'm only asking because as you cast this, a no alarm is set off, but uh red like um like a fire alarm visual. There's no sound, but it's just visually like starts flashing all around the room as you cast Xeno, and you can get out your Xeno and like talk to him, but something is going to happen afterwards.
Okay. I cast, he's right next to me. I put him on the ground right next to this tank, and I say, Xeno, I don't know what Quinn is doing, but this is not okay. You stay here and wait for my signal, okay? And I'm gonna wait for a confirmation of a nod. He kind of gives me a nod, and then I stand out. I present myself,
As
and I say,
almost in
as okay, go.
sorry, in like the same fluid motion that you're like talking to Xeno, a um a bolt of pure arcane magic. The second you bring Xeno out and like talk to him, right before you duck out of cover, a bolt of raw magic comes out from like there's a like a crystalline structure above the main vat, and it kind of disintegrates Xeno in front of you.
Xeno! Quinn! What the hell is this place?
Mr. Alorin, as he kind of very calmly kind of steps away from his desk. I could have swore there was something in here, especially after the alarms went off. How long have you been here?
Long enough to know that whatever you're doing behind the council's back, it will not fly. Okay? What is this what you guys are doing with all of the blood from the blood drives? What is this for?
How about I show you what I've been working on? As he kind of steps over to the vat and he kind of taps it with his pen and turns this big wheel. Let's see how well my creation is faring so far. As some of the vat begins to drain into the other tanks, you can hear a coming from the tank as a kind of like hatch opens from the front, spills out probably a few gallons of blood on the floor as it comes washing out in front of you. This thing kind of washes out with it, lands on the floor in front. This thing looks like a walking tumor of a humanoid. It kind of stands. It looks as if it is, a man, but the amount of growths and tumors that reside on it show that it is something that you have no clue what it could be. As it kind of stands up, it's go on, my creation. Show me. As it begins to like slowly walk towards you, and I'm gonna ask you to roll initiative. Hold up 1 second. Doop. There we go. Make sure to click on your token.
Fuck. It's okay. I still got +5 initiative. How? No clue.
And then I will do it. Somehow you're better
Let's
than it,
go.
but it makes sense. It literally just spawned in. You were spawn camping it. As it stands up, you get the first moves.
I've seen nothing like this before, right?
No.
It just kind of like an amount. Is it humanoid in nature?
It is humanoid in nature.
Does it seem like just right off the bat, I'm like, calculating this, trying to study this before I make an attack to go to range, to go to melee. As soon as I saw it and come out, does it seem like, and I can roll an intelligence check if you want or something like that. Does it seem like it has the skeleton structure of a human, or like just like the regular like skeleton, almost like model of a human, or something just totally I can't wrap my head around?
Um, I would say it looks very humanoid in nature. If you were to take a normal man and cover him in like pustules and like growths,
Okay.
it would look like that.
Um, I fuck. Quinn, I don't want to do this, but you're leaving me no choice. And I kind of take a step forward and kind of almost like you know, like how people have like holsters for like guns like under their arms that they keep like in a coat. Um I go ahead and reach in over my kind of a lab and like class studying robes from the arcane college. I have hidden strapped under on either side two scimitars. Knowing that I'm not arcane proficient in the arcane enough to defend myself, I have spent a decent amount of time training up my dexterity and becoming nimble in terms of martial combat as well. Um, and I kind of look forward and I take a step. I don't know what you are or who you are, but I'm sorry. And I go to make a scimitar attack as my main action, and then an offhanded attack with no proficiency added at the end for my second attack.
Okay.
So
The first
nine.
one, misses.
Okay, and now the second attack we just -3 off of the damage.
Do you not have to roll again for it? Oh, never mind. Oh, that one
Yeah, I
hits.
do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
so it just
hits.
is 3 damage.
And as you swing at it, a splash of blood lands on the floor. But as you make contact with it, you can see the blood begin to like glow, and it kind of like shocks back to the creature in front of you. It kind of like
Oh,
splatters, and then like almost as if it's on a like a rubber band, it kind of splatters on the ground and then slings back into the creature.
Does it look like, or I could do that at the end of my turn, on my next turn, but I intend to ascertain if that kind of movement of blood in any way seems similar to what I did earlier.
Um, from looking at it, it gives the same traits. It's not exactly what you did, but it is a very similar trait.
Okay,
Too
Um,
similar to ignore.
okay, that makes sense. And I just kind of hold my scimitars in front of me in a defensive formation and just kind of like look at both the creature in front of me and Quinn at the same time. End of my turn.
Yall. As it begins to like lunge back, it almost like the growths on its body kind of like pulse downward as it like roots itself to the ground, and almost like a tree, like a Wobbuffet from Pokemon. It kind of slings back with both of its arms as it tries to like full body like swing at you. Do.
That does not hit.
As it slings forward, you kind of throw up your scimitar and kind of deflect it as its body kind of ricochets back, and it as you deflect its damage, the blood that got sucked back into it is going to like pool around its feet.
Okay.
You can see a like a shimmer as this happens.
Okay. All right. Is that its turn?
Yes, that is its turn.
Okay. I'm gonna move over and kind of move to its left flank, just so I'm a little bit closer to Quinn, and be like, Quinn, explain this. What is this thing? As I'm like saying that, keeping in seeing the blood get almost magnetized back to this creature, and suspecting maybe some regenerative properties from blood that was lost coming back to it. I'm going to reach my I'm gonna reach my like a kind of like having my scimitar in my hand, my right hand. I'm gonna go like fist bump it, so my knuckles that are exposed from the scimitar kind of touch the chest of the of this creature, and I'm gonna cast Chill Touch, um, to potentially nullify any potential regenerative properties on this creature.
Okay.
Um, So 6 necrotic damage and can't heal until the end of my next turn.
That does in fact work. As you touch the creature, a wave of necrotic kind of waves over it as the creature kind of screeches, and the blood that was like sticking to it kind of splatters on the ground by your feet. Yeah!
And that's it. That's all I do. I'm just keeping an eye at both Quinn on my left and this creature in front of me, just trying to like figure out my next move as I end my turn.
As you do that, Quinn he kind of steps back a little. He kind of grabs his notebook. He's like, yes, yes. Continue. This is great for my notes. As he begins to like jot stuff down as you're fighting it, and as the creature kind of turns towards you, you can see a shimmer from the blood that is exposed on its body, as like its sores and tumors kind of like pulse a little bit, as it kind of like puts up its like very gross hands and kind of points at you, and it tries to let out a sentence. You, you, as it begins to kind of grow in size, as the blood on its body shimmers and then like crackles with a little lightning, as its body begins to like start to bloat and grow in size, and it shrieks in agony. Yeah! And its turn is going to end as its body begins to inflate.
Um, okay. As that happens, as it starts to inflate, I'm gonna say I'm gonna look at Quinn. I'm gonna look at this creature that's starting to grow larger, and then look back at Quinn. No, I'm I'm not gonna be someone's lab rat. Okay, Quinn? You're gonna tell me what the hell this thing is? If not, well, I hope you guys have a good conversation. And I'm gonna go run towards Quinn. And if he attacks with opportunity, that's totally fine. Um, I'm gonna go run towards Quinn and go in an attempt to make a grapple against Quinn. I have -1 strength. I'm gonna go take a grapple towards Quinn and try and grab him. And wait, I'm gonna try and move here.
Okay.
Or I don't think I would get over this like desk and fern thing. So I'm gonna go right here, and I'm gonna try and grab him as he's taking notes, and be like, "Tell me what this thing is, or you're gonna have to pay for your creation too." And I'm just gonna try and grapple him.
All right. Attempt to grapple Quinn.
Um, is that? I think that's athletics against his acrobatics or athletics, and
Correct.
11.
I am going to hold up. You successfully grapple him.
Okay, I just like almost grab his hand that had the pen in it, more so. And I just say, Quinn, what the hell is this thing? Okay? Now that I got you, you tell me what this is, or we're both gonna find out real fast.
As he kind of chuckles, he's like, fine, fine, fine. He's our future. And you should know more about this than anyone, young Alorin. But our tests are not done yet. As the creature is now kind of growing a bit more, and it's going to burst and send blood splattering across the room. Let's see if
Yeah.
so as the blood kind of showers over you, you're gonna take 3 necrotic, and you can feel that this is it feels unnatural. Like the blood, even all of this just feels wrong. And as this is happening, you can hear um a very distant like footsteps, multiple, coming from um on the other side of the wall. And from your knowledge of the school, that is the hallway before you get into the classroom.
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
I'm gonna look at Quinn. I'm gonna go, Quinn, don't tell me you have a fucking class right now.
Mr. Alorin, the school must go on. If I don't make it, I'm sure my students would be very worried.
This isn't over. And I just kind of thrust him forward, like I throw his arm forward, and release the grapple, and kind of like do it a little bit hard, almost like to just even throw him down if I can, but I'm not really that strong. And I kind of run over to the to the abomination and kind of just put it out as fast as I can in an attempt to try and silence this creature. And I am going to. I'm gonna punch it again with my hand holding the scimitar and cast another chill touch on him.
Okay.
It's a natural one.
As you reach out and try and touch it, the blood, almost as if it's reacting to your actions, kind of reaches out and kind of latches around your hand, creating a barrier from you and the creature. And as that happens, the creature's going to reach out and it's going to wrap its arm around you and kind of throw you into the boxes at the start of the room. And
Holy shit!
As you crash into the boxes, you hear the footsteps getting closer and closer and closer until they're eventually in the room. And as... Huh?
Oh, no. In the classroom, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and as the footsteps enter the classroom, you can kind of hear some muttering and chatter until you eventually hear a very familiar voice. Students! Oh, hello, Mr. President! I'm afraid your class has been canceled for today, as, Mr. Quinn has other matters to attend to. You are free to have, you are free to do as you wish. Please vacate the classroom. Yes, Mr. President. As you can hear the footsteps kind of flood out as you're now left with the voice of your father, and he begins to talk to someone. Mr. Quinn sure has been busy. These breakthroughs better be what we're hoping for. We do hope that they're to your satisfaction, sir. And as the footsteps kind of come in one by one. You can kind of see them move through the shimmer as your father walks into the room, followed by the rest of the board of educators for the school.
I'm
Sorry, you're like kind of obscured by the crushed boxes.
okay, yeah. I was about to say, like, I'm just like lying in the rubble that I got thrown into. I'm like holding my breath right now.
Yeah, they as they move up,
Wait, I know that guy.
ignore ignore the tokens. I know him. Wow, Mr. Quinn, is this what you wanted to show us? This mess? Ah! No, sir. Your son interrupted my presentation. My son! This is... I will have to have a word with the boy. Educators, put out a search the premises for my boy. We need to have a little chat. As they are like, yes sir, as they all kind of start casting some spells.
I just take a moment and does it, for my research, do they look like divination spells to try and find me, or are they trying to do, something else? Is there anything I can ascertain from that?
There are... You can tell that each of them is casting a different spell. What spell is it? You do not know.
Okay, okay.
Go on.
I kind of look around and I kind of think to myself, fuck. Well, I'm glad at least Zeno didn't have to hear that. And I just...
As you begin to think that, one of the professors in the room goes, sir, I found him. He's in this room. In this room? Kizmet!
Yes! I'm right here! And I don't know what is going on here, but did you call for them to find me?
My boy.
I kind of like take steps towards like the door almost. Don't my boy me. What is this, Dad? This isn't you. This isn't something that that we would be involved in. This is something that we train against. This is something we train to fight against.
Train to fight against? I see you've been hard at studying. I knew I raised a very studious boy, but you see, you lack critical thinking. Did you ever wonder and think why we have monthly blood donations that are required by all students? And did you ever think that I wouldn't notice you haven't been participating?
Well, all the professors said that it was for the research and the betterment of the Arcane College, and I always just now I've been realizing that I never have, but I just never thought about that. But that it doesn't matter. Why are you involved in this?
My boy, you simply cannot understand in the few moments that I would be able to explain it to you. But now, I don't know if I can let you leave this room. I think we'll have to have a discussion, just me and you, as he kind of begins to step forward as the professors kind of step aside, and he begins to like slowly make his like way toward. He's walking very slowly. He's kind of extending one hand towards you, and as he
No.
does this, he
Oh,
kind of
okay.
just grins.
No. No, I'm. This can't. If you can't explain this now, then it can't be explained at all. I don't. I've tried all this time to impress you. To impress the Alorin name.
And believe me, son, I'm impressed. I can show you so much more. Just forget about this. Allow me to personally train you. As he begins to like get closer, and as he takes another step forward, you can feel you don't know if it's your body reacting on its own or if it's the will of Zeno, but he summons almost himself as he lunges out and begins to like peck around your father, and you in the moment feel a connection, your telekinetic connection with him, and you get one word: run.
And I just fucking turn out, and right before I run, I just say, I'll find out what the fuck this is, and show you that this was never you, and it certainly won't be me. And I just fucking run out of the room, and I just book it, and I just run, and I just run out of the classroom. I just like am with no care for kind of like if anyone sees me running away frantically, I stow my scimitars under my robes, and I just run and run and run to just get as far away from anyone around me, just in absolute disbelief of what I'm seeing and what is trying to be purported to me as real.
And as you're bolting through, you get like a wave of clarity almost. As you're running through the school, you can see a bunch of students with like bandages around their arms, kind of holding it. You see scrying eyes that are kind of peering over, instantly looking at you as you're like running through the halls. You eventually make it out of the school itself. You're now in the woods that surround the island, and you're running, branches pelting you in the face. And as you are making your way, you eventually make it to the coast, where you look out and you see the shimmering of the magical force that surrounds the island. You see the waves kind of splashing up on the island itself. And as you turn around, you can hear footsteps and yelling. You can hear, "Kizmet! Mr. Alorin! Kizmet! Where are you?" And you can see kind of like, you see a flare kind of, they all shoot up around the school. You can see scrying eyes begin to appear above the treetops. And as you look out, you see a lone boat on a dock.
I just kind of in the ruckus that's happening behind me and the potential route out, the only way to unknown, where all that I've spent all my time studying and learning and obsessing over impressing my father, just it all flies to the wind in just the sheer and absolute disbelief. I just think for a moment, and I take out a like a small parchment that I have like in my pack that I carry with me, and I just quickly, as fast as I can, write in it, "Mother, I don't know what's going on, but I will come back for you." And as that happens, as I write that down, I run over to the dock, the boat, on kind of like the outmost side of the dock, like where the dock almost touches the water. I kind of get in the boat. I just hop in, and then where the dock that like faces out into the ocean is, I just get that letter and I just get a dagger and I just stab it into the wood.
As
And then I
as you pick up
just
your letter and you stab it into the wood on the tree, you mistakenly, or whether it be fate, kind of nick yourself on the finger. And as that happens, your blood courses, like dribbles down the letter. And in that moment, a very simple cantrip kind of pulses out of it. You can feel from the arcane essence that it was the message spell, and with all of your focusing and trying, you've extended the range of a simple cantrip to island wide. And you know that even if your mother doesn't find this message, you know that she heard it.
I'll come back for you. I know Zeno will be happy to see you too. And then I just go over to the boat. I look around and I see the people chasing me as I go to jump in.
Yeah, you can see like lit flames kind of running through the woods as they're kind of like using it to guide themselves through the darkness. The flares are kind of sending a very ominous glow across the school and the island as it shines on you in the boat. And as you look at the island, you can hear the people. Mr. Alorin, get back here! Kizmet! Kizmet, wait!
Just in disbelief, in an absence of knowledge of even what I've saw, and contemplating my purpose even on this island to begin with. Failure after failure after failure again, when seemingly everything should have gone right. Kismet is just fed up, and the only option he feels like that he has is to just run away from it rather than to process it or face it. Process or face his failure, process or face his father. He jumps in the boat without a regret and sets off to get as far away from this forsaken island as possible.
And as Kizmet jumps into the boat and he rows and rows and rows, he eventually gets to the border where the shimmer is becoming ever more prevalent. And as you eventually cross that barrier, as you do your last stroke, You go from seeing a full academy island lit up by flares to nothing. As you cross that barrier, the island vanishes into thin air, only left with a slight shimmer. It is now you in the open waters. You don't know where the currents will lead you or how far your arms will let you row, but you know that you'll have to keep going until you eventually hit landfall somewhere. And with that, it concludes our prologue for Kizmet Alorin. Thank you for watching.